Ah, my fiendish followers, today's tale is sure to leave you with more chills than a night spent in a haunted Victorian mansion. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring that bell icon, lest you miss out on more of my spine-tingling stories. Settle in as we unravel the mystery of the lost manuscript. In Derry, Maine, a town where secrets and shadows intertooled like the branches of its ancient trees, James Harrington, a retired literature professor, sought a new beginning. The old Victorian house at the end of Maple Street, with its towering gables and whispered histories, promised solitude. James, a widower haunted by the loss of his wife and estranged from his only son, found solace in the house's silent walls. As autumn painted the town in shades of amber and gold, James delved into his new life, cataloguing books and memories. It was during a rain-soaked evening, as the wind sang a mournful tune, that he discovered a hidden compartment behind the library's wooden paneling. Inside lay an unpublished manuscript, yellowed with age, but intact. The Dark Whispers, authored by Nathaniel, a horror novelist whose twisted tales had chilled the spines of many in the late 70s. Reading Crane's manuscript, James was drawn into a story of a writer who unleashed his nightmares into the world. But as he turned the pages, the boundary between the manuscript and reality began to blur. Shadows danced in corners, and whispers echoed in empty rooms. At first, James attributed these occurrences to his grief and loneliness. However, when he found his own name scribbled in the margins, a cold dread settled in his heart. Determined to unravel this mystery, James visited Derry's local library, where he met Eleanor, a librarian, who had grown up listening to her grandmother's tales of Nathaniel Crane's eccentricity and eventual disappearance. Eleanor, intrigued by James's story, agreed to help him investigate Crane's past. Their search revealed that Crane had been obsessed with the occult, conducting rituals to blur the lines between his macabre fiction and reality. James also learned of a cult, followers of Crane's dark teachings, who believed the manuscript held the key to unleashing supernatural forces. Meanwhile, as the strange occurrences intensified, James encountered a young man, David, who claimed to have experienced similar phenomena after reading one of Crane's books. David, estranged from his family and living on the streets, found a confidant in James. Their shared experiences formed an unlikely bond, and David became a regular visitor at James's house, helping him understand the connection between the manuscript and the events unfolding around them. The climax thundered in one stormy night when James and David were confronted by the cult in James's home. The cultists, led by a charismatic and sinister figure, demanded the manuscript. In a twist of fate, the very entities Crane had written about emerged from the shadows, not to haunt James, but to protect him. The line between savior and destroyer blurred as the creatures turned on the cultists. Their ethereal forms a whirlwind of vengeance. In the aftermath, as the police dismissed the incident as an attempted burglary gone wrong, James was left with a house scarred by supernatural battle and a mind reeling from the truth. He realized that the manuscript was more than a story. It was a bridge between worlds, a dangerous tool in the wrong hands. With Eleanor's and David's help, James decided to hide the manuscript, burying it deep within the woods of Derry. As he did, he whispered a promise to his late wife and estranged son, vowing to reconnect with the world he had shunned. James's life was forever altered. He no longer saw the world through the lens of a mourning widower, but as a survivor of the inexplicable. He reconciled with his son, sharing his story in the hope of rebuilding their broken relationship. David, inspired by James's courage, decided to reconnect with his own family. The story of the lost manuscript became a local legend in Derry, a tale whispered among those who dared to believe in the thin veil separating reality from the nightmares of our own making. And for James, the whispers of Nathaniel Crane's creations lingered, a haunting reminder of the night when fiction and reality collided in a dance of darkness and redemption. Through this journey, James Harrington not only uncovered the sinister legacy of Nathaniel Crane, but also rediscovered his connection to humanity, understanding that even in the darkest of tales, there is room for hope and reconciliation. Well, dear ghouls, it seems even the darkest secrets can't stay buried forever, much like the things in your own closets. Don't be a silent spectre. Leave a comment and share what part of the lost manuscript sent shivers down your spine.
Dark Diaries.
Hello, Fright fans. Ready to navigate a tale that's truly unhinged? Don't lose your way. Click subscribe and ring that bell to summon more stories from the crypt. Prepare to wander through the labyrinth of the lost, if you dare. The town of Harmony Hollow always felt an uncanny stillness, the kind of quiet that fills the air after a storm. At the heart of this ghostly silence was the imposing form of the Hillbrook Asylum, a desolate structure that had crumbled under the weight of dark rumors. For 5 friends, Vanessa, James, Clara, David, a war vet with PTSD, and Mike, an ex-detective haunted by an unsolved case, the asylum represented a challenge. Their gatherings were filled with tales of the supernatural, each attempting to outdo the other with a story more chilling than the last. Yet, beneath the surface, they were each tormented by their own hidden traumas and regrets. One cold evening, driven by a mix of skepticism and the thrill of the unknown, they found themselves before the creaking gates of Hillbrook. Vanessa, with her insatiable curiosity for the paranormal, had recently stumbled upon a diary hinting at the existence of a labyrinth within the asylum's bowels, a place that made even the bravest confront their darkest fears. Descending into the depths, the group felt the weight of the legend growing heavy around them. The asylum's eerie stillness was disrupted only by the echo of their own footsteps and the rustling of the diary's aged pages in Vanessa's grip. The walls, which once confined the clinically insane, now seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. It wasn't long before they discovered the concealed entrance to the labyrinth, its gaping maw inviting them deeper into the asylum's twisted bowels. David, having experienced the horrors of war, initially scoffed at the idea of a haunted maze. But as they ventured further in, he found himself in a war-torn village, the cries of fallen comrades echoing in his ears. James, with memories of a near-drowning accident as a child, found himself gasping for breath in a room slowly filling with water. Clara's fear of confined spaces manifested as walls closing in on her, making her relive the memory of being trapped in a collapsed mine during a childhood adventure. The group, although rattled, began to lean on one another, using their shared traumas and the cryptic hints from the diary to navigate the maze. Vanessa, with the diary clutched tightly in her hand, began to understand that the labyrinth was more than just a physical structure. It was a manifestation of the diary writer's tormented psyche. Their journey took a sinister turn when they stumbled upon a dimly lit chamber filled with photographs of their most shameful moments. David saw images of the civilians he couldn't save during the war. Mike saw crime scenes he couldn't solve, and Vanessa was confronted with the memory of a younger sibling she'd lost to the wilderness during a game of hide-and-seek. Realization dawned on them as Vanessa's diary revealed its final secret. The labyrinth was the creation of Eliza, a patient who was subjected to terrifying experiments aimed at curing her supposed madness. The maze was her revenge, drawing trespassers into her never-ending nightmare. Desperation took hold as the spirit of Eliza loomed, her sorrow turning to rage. With guidance from the Diaries' final pages, they rushed towards the exit, narrowly escaping death at every turn. As they emerged, the grasp of the vengeful spirit felt all too real, as if she'd tried to pull them back into her eternal torment. Breathing the crisp air of freedom, the friends clung to each other. The shared ordeal had transformed them, forging unbreakable bonds. The Hillbrook Asylum, though silent once more, bore testimony to their harrowing journey through the depths of despair and redemption. In the heart of Harmony Hollow, legends persisted, but none as chilling or binding as the story of the 5 friends and the Labyrinth of the Lost. As our twisted tale unravels, it seems the maze wasn't the only thing our friends escaped.
Dark Diaries.
Well, dear viewers, it seems we've unearthed a tale that's bound to send shivers down your spine and whispers through your walls. Don't forget to nail down that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for more bone-chilling stories as we delve into the eerie world of Whispers in the Wall. In the quaint, maple-shrouded town of Gilmerton, New England, where the autumn leaves lay thick upon the ground, painting it with fiery hues, the Eldridge mansion stood as a testament to Victorian elegance and a harbinger of whispered secrets. It was here that Tom Eldridge, a journalist in the throes of midlife and reeling from a recent divorce, sought a haven, a place to heal and rediscover his muse. Tom, a man grounded in reality, with a career built on uncovering truths, found an unexpected allure in the mansion. It whispered to him, not just through its creaking floorboards and wind-whistling corridors, but something deeper, as if the very walls spoke to his soul. In its grand, albeit dust-laden rooms, he sought solace, a retreat from the world's cacophony. The initial days in the mansion were marked by a tranquil solitude, but as the moon swelled to its nocturnal reign, Tom began to hear them, faint, ethereal whispers, as if conversations from another realm were seeping through the mansion's aged walls. At first, he dismissed them as figments of an overstressed mind, echoes of a heart still bruised from his failed marriage. But as nights passed, the whispers grew louder, more persistent, weaving narratives of sorrow and darkness that resonated with Tom's own inner turmoils. Driven by a journalist's innate curiosity and a growing, inexplicable connection, Tom delved into the mansion's history. He uncovered a tapestry of tragedies tied to its original owner, Jonathan Eldridge. A tale of a wife succumbed to illness, a daughter who vanished, leaving no trace but a void of despair, and a son broken by unspoken burdens who met a self-inflicted grim fate. The locals whispered of curses and spectral presences, but Tom, a man of logic, sought tangible historical truths. Parallel to his quest, Tom's personal life began to intricately weave itself with the mansion's enigmatic narrative. Rachel, his ex-wife, disturbed by his self-imposed isolation, began visiting, her presence stirring, a tempest of unresolved feelings and bitter memories. Moreover, Matt, his estranged teenage son, appeared unannounced, seeking a haven from his own youthful transgressions. The mansion, with its enigmatic whispers, seemed to draw out their deepest fears and unspoken regrets, creating an entangled tapestry of present woes and historical echoes. As Tom delved deeper, the whispers morphed into coherent voices, narrating stories that eerily mirrored his own life, tales of paternal neglect, lost love, and a haunting journey of a man grappling with guilt and seeking redemption. It was then that Tom realized these voices were not just echoes of a bygone era, but reflections of his own inner conflicts, a psychological manifestation of his deepest fears and suppressed regrets. In a climactic moment during a fierce autumn storm that seemed to make the mansion itself groan and shiver, Tom confronted the source of the whispers. In the mansion's neglected attic, beneath layers of dust and time, he discovered the final diary of Jonathan Eldridge. The diary's words, steeped in remorse and revelations, mirrored Tom's own journey. A man facing his inner demons, seeking forgiveness and understanding. This epiphany was a cathartic moment for Tom, a psychological breakthrough where he confronted and accepted his past failures, his fractured marriage, and his distant relationship with his son. Emerging from the attic, Tom found Rachel and Matt waiting, their own fears and resentments brought into sharp relief by the mansion's mysterious influence. Together, they faced their shared history, their voices merging with the whispers in the walls, creating a chorus of healing and reconciliation. But the mansion held more secrets as Tom, Rachel, and Matt endeavored to mend their fractured bonds. They stumbled upon a hidden room, concealed behind a false wall in the attic. This room, untouched by time, contained the personal belongings of Jonathan's lost daughter Elizabeth. Her diaries and letters painted a picture of a vibrant yet troubled soul, a subplot mirroring Matt's own struggles, offering a poignant reflection on the cyclical nature of familial pain and misunderstanding. As the story unfolded, a local historian, Mrs. Whitmore, intrigued by Tom's investigations, shared a forgotten chapter of Gilmerton's history. She revealed how the town, once a bustling hub in the 19th century, harbored secrets of its own, tales of forbidden love, societal pressures, and the unspoken tragedies that befell the Eldridge family. This subplot added a deeper context to the mansion's whispers, tying the Eldridge family's fate to the town's own shadowed history. In the end, Tom, inspired by his experiences, the Eldridge family's saga, and his own journey towards reconciliation, began penning a novel. He wove his story with the tragic history of the Eldridge mansion, the whispers in the wall now silent, but their echoes remained, a testament to the power of facing one's past and the redemptive power of forgiveness and understanding. As the story drew to a close, a final twist unraveled. In the concealed room, among Elizabeth's belongings, Tom found a portrait. It depicted Elizabeth, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a defiant, strong-willed woman, suggesting that her disappearance was not a tragedy, but a bold act of self-determination, a stark contrast to the mansion's otherwise somber narrative. Tom, Rachel, and Matt stood outside the mansion, gazing up at its now silent facade. They were bonded, not just by blood, but by the shared experience of confronting their inner ghosts, of understanding the intricate dance between the past and the present, and the enduring power of human connection. The mansion, once a whispering beacon of shadows and secrets, now stood as a symbol of their journey, a monument to the intricate dance of history, mystery, and the enduring power of the human heart. As our tale of spectral secrets reaches its end, remember, every whisper in the night might just be a story untold lurking in the shadows. Share your spine-tingling thoughts in the comments below, and who knows, maybe the walls around you are listening too. Until next time, stay haunted, my friends. Fright fans, click next for more chills and hit subscribe to join our ghastly gang. You see, who dares to miss out, so watch our next video.